often does it rain in LA for multiple nights in a row?
I don't, it never rains as much in LA. It doesn't. The most, of all the unbelievable things in this movie, it's the fact that it rained this much in LA.
5, 6, 7, 8.
There's no business like show business.
Mamma mia, here I go again. My
Of the music
I was very proud of myself for how organized I was in watching this.
Yeah.
I watched it on Friday. I did my dramaturgy like yesterday. I wasn't like a mad dash, and I was like, this. I need to do this.
Yes. And it is like a full 2-hour movie, so
2 hours and change.
Yeah.
And dear listener, I want to preface this by saying Grace messaged me being like, hey, so the reviews for this aren't good. Do we still want to do it? And I said, yeah, I kind of feel like a hate watch right now.
Yeah. And this felt like a cousin of Burlesque to me. I was like, this is a very similar plot. Like,
Same director.
is it? I knew that he did Hairspray, didn't he?
Yep, same director. Adam Shankman. Not the director of the Broadway production, which we will talk about later.
There's drama.
There's some drama.
Because the ending is radically different than this show.
Oh, it's radically. The film is radically different. The plot is radically different. Dear listeners, we are ripping off the Band-Aid.
Woo!
I don't know where. I mean, I know literally where I was. This was 2012. We were in college.
Yeah.
I have no memory of this film existing.
No. At all.
We're doing Rock of Ages, y'all.
Hell yeah!
I never saw the stage production, and I had never seen the movie until this.
Yeah. And I think a huge part of why I never saw it is because of Tom Cruise. Like,
oh, we need several trigger warnings before we do this, which is trigger warning for the fact that this movie contains Tom Cruise, Alec Baldwin, Russell Brand. Like, if any of those existences is triggering to you, skip this episode.
Skip it.
Go to the next.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll talk about the whole
Jump scare.
Alec Baldwin, Russell Brand thing. I feel like that set everything back.
Oh my god. Yeah, I have a lot of feelings about that, but let's kick this off. It's 1987.
Woo!
We get a jump scare right from the beginning with Tom Cruise as this rock star Stacey Jacks.
Yes.
And then we cut to a Greyhound bus leaving Oklahoma, and we meet our heroine named Sherry, played by Julianne Hough. She's like reflecting as she leaves Oklahoma with nothing but a suitcase and some dreams.
Woo!
And she starts to sing the song Sister Christian.
And the whole bus sings with her. I will say this is a musical, so
this is a true musical. We have Dancing in the Streets.
Yes, I was worried because it takes place at a rock venue, that it wouldn't be a musical, it would be a movie with music. But it is a straight up true blue musical. There's chorus, people sing outside of the context of when people would normally sing. And yes,
there's choreography that doesn't take place on a stage.
Absolutely. And yes, there are performances on stage, but it is not the only time that you see that. So this is a musical.
Grace, I have a burning confession to make.
Confess.
I was doing research on like where they filmed it, and they said they filmed the interiors of the Bourbon Room in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, at a concert venue called Revolution Live.
Oh no.
I have been to Revolution Live many times as a teen for concerts, and it's also where my senior prom after party was.
Woo!
And just thinking, I'm like, truly 2 years later, no, less. They probably filmed it because they filmed it in 2007. Oh my god, they were there when I was there. Like, truly, I don't know what time of year they filmed this, but just the idea, I was just like, shut the fuck up. This is Revolution?
Yeah.
It blew my fucking mind. And then they like used some exterior shots of in Miami for the Sunset Strip. But they didn't build this concert. They didn't build this concert venue. They shot it in fucking Fort Lauderdale, 15 minutes from my house.
Incredible.
Shooketh. All right. We get off the bus with Sherry, Julianne Hough, and she sees a poster on a lamppost. Yeah,
Something,
a lamppost. For a performance by this band called Arsenal that's going to be at the Bourbon Room, which they make the Bourbon Room seem like, of the concert venues on the Sunset Strip, it is like
the rock and
most
roll
historic.
one.
It's the rock and roll. It's like the dream.
Yeah.
For rock and roll performance. It's not like a concert. It's not like Madison Square Garden.
No,
it's
but
like
it
a
is
really
very much like where a
venue.
lot of places get their start. It's like where up and coming places like get their first real big gigs, and everyone goes there looking kind of for new artists, that sort of thing.
Yes, and she starts to sing Just Like Paradise, which is a love, and then lovely juxtaposed against like the rougher nightlight of LA.
Yes.
With sex workers and cops arresting people, and we then really quickly transition into our heroic lead, our male lead, who starts to sing Nothing But a Good Time. This whole opening number is just a big montage of Sister Christian, Just Like Paradise, Nothing But a Good Time.
Yes.
And like, it's a good opening number in that it sets the stage. And we meet our main characters. Like,
I'm gonna say this up top because I thought it every time a new song started. 80s rock music is a vibe. It is so fun. These songs are a blast.
I was also I was reflecting on jukebox musicals, like you do. I admit I never saw And Juliet, which is like a pop jukebox musical on Broadway right now with a lot of like Katy Perry songs and stuff. It's not just Katy Perry, but from what I have seen of the clips, the songs are much better integrated into the plot, or they chose songs that integrate into the plot well. Oh, also, fucking Moulin Rouge is also
and Across the
Broadway
Universe. That's not on Broadway, but like
Across the Universe, they
in
did
terms
a
of
good
like
job.
jukebox musicals, I thought they did great in Across the Universe in terms of integrating. But it's also because those songs were so inherently political anyway, and talking about a political time, you were able to integrate it a little bit better. Yeah,
for the most part, I was very impressed with how these songs integrated into the plot.
Yeah,
not all of them were great.
No,
some were better than others.
What
anyway?
Plot?
In this big opening montage, we meet the two quasi owners of the Bourbon Room. We like very quickly move inside the Bourbon Room because our hero works there.
Yes.
And we meet Lonnie, Russell Brand, who is kind of like the general manager, second in command. And we get a montage of chaos in the club. And surprise, there's Alec Baldwin as the owner in a leather vest.
I do not believe that Alec Baldwin has ever thrown the rock hand symbol once in his fucking life.
What? The bent elbow?
It looked so unnatural on that man's body that I like had to step away for a second. I was like, I do not believe that Alec Baldwin has ever genuinely thrown that hand sign in his fucking life.
And dear reader, it gets worse.
It's so true.
During this, a random waitress quits because a patron is handsy.
Yeah.
And there's a protest outside the club of Mothers Against Rock and Roll or something.
Oh, I'll tell you what the name is. It's one of my fun facts.
And our Julianne Hough, Sherry, like walks up, sees the Bourbon Room, is in awe, and a random guy immediately clocks her, being like, "You're new here."
Yeah.
Mugs her, takes her suitcase full of
Yes.
takes her suitcase. Lover boy named Drew clocks it, comes to her rescue. He's like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, but he took my records." And they're in love.
Love.
But he offers to help her get a
Instantly.
job at the Bourbon Room, which is like, she's fresh off the bus from Oklahoma, and the Bourbon Room is like the dream. So getting a job at the dream is
but like
30
as a
seconds
waitress,
because
she does say that she's a singer, and he's like, "Do not tell them that you're a singer. You're here to be a waitress if you want this job."
Yeah. So he takes her inside and goes up to Dennis, who is Alec Baldwin, the owner, and goes like, "Hey, she needs a job." And he's like, "You're a singer, aren't you?"
Yeah, instantly.
Like, no! And he immediately clocks her, but because that other waitress just quit, he's like, "Fine, you're hired. Yeah. It's going to be crazy." Okay, and here is gripe number 1.
Okay.
Where it says, he warns them, he's like, okay, listen, you can start... Oh, okay, I'm trying to think. I thought he said you can start because tonight is Arsenal's last show. It's going to be crazy.
I thought it was tomorrow night.
But no. She starts training tomorrow night.
Okay.
But the Arsenal show isn't for a while.
See, okay, so this was something that I wrote down too.
Time means nothing in this musical.
Because I thought that he said, fine, you can start because we need someone. Tomorrow is Arsenal's last show. And then later on, we'll get to it, but there's a whole lovey-dovey montage. And I'm like, is this one day? Like...
Yeah, time passes.
Yeah.
We see our lovers, like, develop a relationship.
Yeah.
And so I was also confused by the timeline.
Okay, so it wasn't just me. I didn't just, like, misalign.
No.
Okay.
No. Time means nothing when it comes to rock and roll.
Classic, of course.
Anyway, jump scare. Not jump scare, because I love him,
yes.
but surprise,
Bryan Cranston
is in this movie. I had no fucking idea. I don't think he's in the trailer. But surprise, he's the new mayor of Los Angeles, and he's gonna clean up this city.
I don't think that he's won yet, has he? I don't know.
I think he won.
Okay, sure.
I think he won. I don't know.
And his wife,
he has a
jump
secret
scare,
weapon.
is Catherine Zeta-Jones. Love her. My immediate question was, who did the casting for this? It must be the same casting director that did the movie Cats, because the fact that they got all of these incredible people in this shit movie is crazy. What do you have on these people?
I can't wait to talk later about... I have quotes from the actual creator of Rock of Ages and the Broadway director, and then I have quotes from Adam Shankman about why this film wasn't as successful.
Yeah.
And he was coming off the success of Hairspray, so I'll talk about it later.
I'm interested.
But anyway, this is a TV conference where Bryan Cranston, he's like, I have my secret weapon, it's my wife, and we're gonna clean up Los Angeles. Yeah. And we cut back to the Bourbon Room with Dennis and Lonnie watching this, and Lonnie goes, I think I recognize his wife.
Yeah.
And Dennis is like, well, that's probably because, well, I don't know about that, but the mayor used to be a customer of the club, and you think that's gonna go somewhere, and then it doesn't.
Never does.
It's never addressed. Never gets brought back.
So we cut to Drew and Sherry, our young lovers. They're in a record store together, and they bond over the music that they like, and that they're both singers. And
they go to Capitol Records.
Yeah.
It's Capitol Records. Yeah.
And they sing the song "I Love Rock and Roll" / Jukebox Hero.
Mm-hmm. And I wrote, my neck already hurts watching this.
Yeah, my God.
There was so much
hair acting from Sherry.
Yeah,
so
there's a lot of wind. That wig is the most voluminous wig I've ever seen.
But they talk, and Drew tells Sherry that he has dreams of becoming a rock star, but that he has stage fright. And then her advice is, "Hey, man, breathe.
Just breathe."
Groundbreaking.
The worst. I wrote the worst advice.
If I could have put a gif of Meryl Streep in Devil Wears Prada going groundbreaking, like it's just
groundbreaking.
Anyway,
also,
he likes
this
it.
Song
it's
is,
fine.
This song is a duet. Cut back to the office with Lonnie and Dennis.
Yeah,
and that side of the song did absolutely nothing for me. They are phoning it in, and I wrote, oh, maybe they get together at the end, because that would explain this scene.
Right. Well, and there was a moment where they were like really close together, and I was just like, make out. And then, spoiler alert, they do make out later, and I regret that. Didn't want it. I asked for it, and it turns out I didn't want it. So
are we going to talk about this now, or are we going to talk about this when it comes?
We'll talk about it when it comes up. I got a lot to say. Anyway, I'm not going to yell this time around.
Drew asks... Don't make my ears bleed. At the end of the song, after Sherry gives him terrible advice, Drew asks her out on a date. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, ma'am, you don't have a place to live.
Yeah,
but
that's
not important. Okay, cut back to really quickly to the
office.
End of that, like, mayoral campaign event.
Yeah.
Doug... who is Mayor Doug, I'm gonna call him, frets to Patty. He's like, I'm worried, like, I promised in my campaign, like, we're gonna get the strip cleaned up and we're gonna shut down all these bad places, but I'm worried I'm not gonna be able to deliver. And Patty says, like, don't worry, what we're gonna, she has some metaphor of, like, cutting off the head of the snake or something, but she's like, we're gonna take down the bourbon room and the rest will follow.
Yes.
She's got a specific vendetta against the bourbon room.
And specifically also Stacey Jacks.
Yeah, cut back to the bourbon room, and Dennis is up in the office, stressed about money and taxes, because taxes are not rock and roll.
Yeah.
And he's especially stressed because they have this upcoming show with Stacey Jacks, and we get a little bit of background on that, which is this is supposedly Stacey Jacks' last show with his band Arsenal because he's launching a solo tour.
Right.
And so they say, like, the whole success and the future of this club, because they're, like, really in debt, rides on this show going well, and Stacey Jacks is the most unreliable man in rock and roll because he's a rock star.
Yes. So Dennis
And so he calls Stacey's manager, Paul, who is played
by Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti.
Once again, sir, why are you here? Anyway, he is backstage.
Truly a highlight of this film.
Oh, God. He's backstage. He's on one of those massive 80s cell phones, which was great. And
I also made a note about the phone. I was like, that is a brick.
It's like, hell yeah. So he calls to, like, reconfirm their booking, I guess. And Paul is like, yep, he's still there. But then he does agree that Stacey will be there for this final show. And then he goes to walk into the dressing room, or is this
dressing room,
unclear?
Green room?
It is a, like, den of, like, silks and smoke. There's a pool.
There's a gong.
And I write, oh no.
There's a monkey with a gun.
Yeah, I write, oh no, in all caps. Tome Cruise in assless chaps. So we see Tome Cruise in bed with a couple of women. He gets
round bed
up, and the first thing that we see are just booty cheeks. So he is in assless leather chaps with a dragon-headed codpiece. And I don't think that
a rhinestoned dragon codpiece.
I don't think that this man puts on a shirt the entire movie.
No.
And
no, he doesn't.
He is drunk or high and just falls into a pool. Like, he's so disconnected from this planet in some form. Yeah.
Cut back to Los Angeles, where Patty, the mayor's wife, is meeting. She's, like, meeting with the other, like, heads of the churches or something like that, like church ladies who are gonna help her, like, take down the bourbon room.
Yes.
And she's having her little meeting, and meanwhile, her husband sneaks off with his assistant to, I think they, like, dictate something, and oh boy, do they dictate.
Yep.
But we get Hit Me With Your Best Shot,
such a
sung
fun
by
song.
the church ladies, led by Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yes.
And we get a church organ playing this song, and it's fun.
They're dancing in the aisles and great choreography, and it's this was a fun song, and I love Catherine Zeta-Jones, you know?
I do too. I have two gripes about this song, actually. I thought the lighting was weird. I think the lighting was, like, couldn't decide what it wanted to be, and so it was doing too many options. And secondly, I love Catherine Zeta-Jones. She was playing this like we were in the nosebleeds.
Yeah.
There was no, and, like, look, I know I'm asking for a lot if I'm like, there's no subtlety in Rock of Ages. However, she's a very good actor, and it felt like we're filming it like a movie, but she was playing it like a Broadway musical.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I do. I get that.
There was no variation or subtlety, and there were, like, moments of it, and we're going to talk about it later, but, like, I really liked Tome Cruise's performance in this because it felt like it was for film.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So anyway, also Doug gets dominated by his assistant. It never comes back.
It's a spanking thing.
And Bryan Cranston is so much better. It's a spanking thing. But yeah, it's a fun song. Yeah. There's dancing in the aisles. There's dancing in the pews.
I love it. Cut to Drew and Sherry both getting ready for their date. And the song is Waiting for a Girl Like You. And it's literally just getting ready for a date. Nothing much else happens.
Getting ready.
But they have their first date at the Hollywood sign, which is a fun idea for someone who doesn't have a lot of money. You know, I guess it's, especially if it's your first time, like, you know, it's not a bad idea.
I have another fun Florida fact.
I saw this too. Take it.
Okay, here's the thing. Did you see, you might have seen one thing. So as we established, they filmed this in Florida. They filmed this at what is known as Monarch Hill Renewable Energy Park in Hollywood, in Florida.
Yeah.
Do you know what we actually call it in Florida?
What do you call it?
We call it Mount Trashmore.
Yeah!
Because it is the highest point in Florida, and it is a landfill. And so when I read that, I was like, I cannot believe they used Mount Trashmore.
I did know that it was.
Hollywood.
I did know that it was on a pile of trash. Essentially, it was on like a trash landfill. I did not know that that was what it's called. That's hysterical.
We call it Mount Trashmore. Highest point.
Yeah,
in South Florida, at least. Anyway, we go to the Hollywood sign.
Yep. They talk about their family's reactions to each of them moving there, about how his family wasn't really thrilled, but her grandmother was like, yes, go, get out of here. And
follow your dreams.
Follow your dreams. And then there's a weird dance number where she's in lingerie and there's no point to it. So it's like a weird fantasy that he's having.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, that's fine.
I probably looked down.
And then they get back to real life and they kiss, and she asks him to sing to her because he says that he wants to be a rock star and that he's nervous about singing. So he reveals that he is writing a song for Sherry and starts the first couple lines of Don't Stop Believin'.
Don't Stop Believin'.
Which, to pull in my prom experience, that was the final song of my senior year prom.
That song, what year did Glee come out?
That was like 2010.
I think Glee came out our senior year.
It was around.
I'm just saying,
then.
Don't Stop Believin'
No,
had
I
a
know.
really big 2 years.
A real big comeback. Hold on, let me just double check when Glee came. That was 2009, so that was like the beginning of.
Okay, so like it came out in 2009.
Yeah.
Probably around 2010 is when we started getting the choral arrangements for high school choirs, because I definitely sang that in high school.
That's funny.
But anyway, that came on and I was like, wow, that was a big year, a couple of years for Don't Stop Believin'.
Yeah, let me tell you.
But anyway, we get that. Were you referencing the date montage that they
Yes.
had? Is that the lingerie thing?
Or no,
Okay.
not
that
the
was
date.
what I was
no,
like.
they are at the Hollywood's sign. And he has a sudden vision where he's like laying on the ground and she's in full lingerie on top of him. And then he like comes to and she's like back in her normal clothes. It was a very weird.
I have no memory
dancing.
of that.
You don't need it. I was confused. And then we get like the
but after the song,
montage.
we do get a proper date. We get a montage of time passing, so I don't understand time in this movie.
I don't get it. But
they do things together in Los Angeles. They like go to a carnival. They go roller skating on the beach.
Yeah,
like it's
they're
cute.
making out. It's a whole deal. So then we cut to the night of Arsenal's final show, and at the club, Dennis learns that the opening act has canceled. So Sherry steps in and is like, well, Drew's band could do it, and essentially convinces them to give Drew a shot for his band at being the opening for Arsenal, which would be a huge get for him.
Yeah.
They eventually agree, and Drew is so happy. He almost says, I love you, but Sherry stops him. And then another waitress comes by and decides to rain on her parade, and is just like, good luck. Now that your boyfriend is going to be famous, he's going to leave you, because once the spotlight is on them, the spotlight's no longer on you. And I was like,
the girls disappear.
That is a deeply sad thing to say to someone who just got her boyfriend his first gig. Like, hey man, shutting up costs $0. Like, mind your business.
Yeah. I want to quickly, I have a giggle from this scene, which is at the very beginning when Dennis is learning that the opening act canceled. The band was called Concrete Balls, I think. And the reason they canceled is because multiple members of the band are in rehab. And I don't remember if it was I think Alec Baldwin says it, but he goes, yeah, Betty Ford has a group rate, which is implying the rehab has a group rate. And I'm sorry, that's fucking funny.
So funny.
But anyway, as Sherry watches Drew get ready, I guess, to rehearse for the opening number, she sings the song More Than Words.
Yep.
And this song in particular felt very Christina Aguilera to me. I think it was just the way she was singing.
Yes.
And the fact that she was standing and singing and just watching as opposed to, like, having action.
Yeah.
But Drew sings
Heaven,
and they duet, and then he sings on stage. She goes into the back alley to, like, flit around and sing this song. I'm like, what is this alley doing for you?
why are you here?
Why are you in this alley?
Yeah.
It felt very much like we had other ideas, but, like, we can't do them, so just, like, run around this alley.
Just run around. It'll be fine. But Lonnie
or go back to work. I don't know.
Lonnie does give Drew, I think, better advice for his singing, where he's like, hey man, one, you can pretend like you're alone, but also, like, focus on something that you love, and that's what you're singing to. So, like, just refocus away from the audience and towards something that, like, can actually inspire you to sing if you're having trouble. And so I was like,
oh, is this for stage fright?
Yeah.
As opposed to breathe?
Yeah, and I was like, that's a more helpful thing, ma'am, than just breathe. Anyway, cut to Stacy arrives
Stacy arrives in his white limo at Revolution Live.
Yes.
I mean the Bourbon Room.
The Bourbon Room. And he's, like, out of his mind, and he walks around. Everyone's crazy. Sherry straight up faints, like, face plant onto that concrete floor.
I mean, if you are a rock and roll fan and your idol walks by with no shirt on and a baboon with him, like, you might faint.
Hey man, I didn't faint when Beyonce said hi to me once. Pull it together.
That's true. And we learn a little bit more about Dennis and Stacy's backstory, which is they're kind of like the old guard of rock and roll. Dennis gave Stacy his first gig, essentially, at the Bourbon Room. And they have, like, a tender moment, and Stacy says, it's good to see your face bone again, which is a wild line. And then there's a bit of, like, oh, we're going to burn this to the ground, or no, we're not, ha ha ha. But anyway, then he goes into the green room of the Bourbon Room.
Yes. And also, his manager, Paul Giamatti, has set up an interview with him before this final show with a reporter from Rolling Stone, and her name is Constance. So
played by Malin Ackerman.
Yeah. And so she arrives and starts the interview, and Stacy isn't taking it seriously. He's like, you have 5 minutes, and kind of, like, counting down, essentially, and doing, like, stupid answers where he's like, of course my inspiration is blah blah blah, and this has always been something that's inspired me to blah blah blah, kind of being like, you fill in the rest. But she starts really pushing some buttons and, like, talks about the rumors of the reason why he's going solo is because his behavior is so bad his band doesn't want to work with him anymore. She asks about, like, his high school girlfriend that inspired him to start singing, and that, like, his last hit single, which was, like, 8 years ago, was written about her, and, like, really trying to push some buttons. But let me tell you, this was a moment where I felt like an acting teacher, because Tome Cruise, you could drive a truck through those pauses in this conversation. I understand that he was playing, like, affected because he's obviously on something, like, as the character, but I was just like, we got pick it up. Like, I'm just like, I felt like I was just...
That's also an editing thing.
Yeah, God, I was
like,
just
that
like...
could have been fixed in editing.
Team, we got this. These pauses are too much. I'm not getting anything from these pauses. There's no tension that's being built. I'm just like, okay, let's say something. Anyway, that was one thing where I was just like, fuck. But finally, she asks him, like, if he, like, ends the interview, and, like, before he walks out, she's like, fine, just one final question. You keep saying that no one knows what it's like to be you, so tell me, what is it like to be you? And he starts the song.
What is it like to be Stacey Jacks?
Yeah, he starts the song, Wanted, Dead, or Alive. And Constance is not unaffected by him.
No, she gets it.
Mm-hmm.
By the end, she's like, I get it.
Kind of into it.
This was the first time we see Tome Cruise singing in this film. And it is him singing.
Yes.
He does all his own singing. Everyone does their own singing in this film.
Yes.
And I'm reading my notes. I'm like, I'm just not buying him as a rock star. I guess later I did, but this first time I was like, this took me a minute. I think maybe just because this song isn't very active, he's just wandering around the venue exploring it.
Yeah. I also had a hard time with him as a, and I was talking to my mom about this as well. My mom grew up watching him like in like Risky Business, so when he like was young and hot, and my experience with Tom Cruise is like Mr. Jump on the Couch. So
yes,
I've never seen him as a sex symbol, so him as like this washed up rocker sex symbol, I was like, bad casting, I do not buy this. But it's because me personally as Grace has never seen him in that genre, I guess, or in that time in his life.
We didn't grow up. I didn't grow up
with him as a cutie, and so
see where you're coming from.
But my mom, who absolutely did, and was like had such a big crush on him whenever he was young, and like in Top Gun and in Risky Business and all of that, was like, no, I think this casting super works. So I think this casting is very much for a certain age range of people in which this casting choice 100% works. But for me, who's of a younger generation, doesn't work for me. I just don't get it. Because Jump on a Couch was 2005, and that was kind of my first experience of him in the public space, you know?
It was mine as well, but I watched the original Top Gun before the remake came out.
Yes.
Just because I'd never seen it before, and I had the moment where I was like, oh, I get it.
Yeah, 100%.
I get the Tom Cruise appeal.
And Val Kilmer is in that movie.
Before that.
So good.
Yeah. I just wasn't there with like the gravitas of him being a rock star in this song. I do get it later when he's like shredding on stage. Yeah. Singing.
Pour Some Sugar on Me, he does really well, I think.
Yeah, like I fully bought it in that. But anyway, the song ends when Sherry joins in. Sherry joins in the end of this song, and Stacy eyes her up like a predator. Yeah. And he touches her boob and sniffs her and tells her what, she has an old soul or something?
Some creepy thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he asks her to go and get a bottle of scotch from his limo and bring it to him in the green room.
Because during his interview, his last bottle of scotch had been broken.
Yes.
So we cut outside and we see Patricia, the mayor's wife, at this protest. Mm-hmm. Very briefly. We cut back inside, and Constance, the reporter, tears into Stacy in the dressing room. But she's like, I don't see a rock star. I see someone who is asleep at the wheel, and I see someone whose shitty manager is about to drive their career off the cliff. Yes. She clocks that, like, Paul does not have Stacy's best interest at heart, and he's just in it for the money to, like, squeeze as much out of him.
100%.
And Paul is there for this confrontation. And he's like, okay, sweetheart, it's time for you to leave. And Stacy kicks everyone out, including Paul, so that just he and Constance are in this room together. Yes. And she tells him that his sense of entitlement comes from people's love of him as a rock god, but it's not real love. And I wrote, he's so tortured, but she can fix him.
Exactly. That's the entire vibe of this. It's awful. Anyway, so they are both kind of into each other. So they sing the song, I Want to Know What Love Is, and start hooking up and are about to have sex.
Violently.
Jesus. But I think it's Stacy who stops it.
Do they not have sex?
They do not.
I fully thought they had sex on that pool table.
No.
Okay.
I think that they stop it because then the whole deal is that they have sex later on in the bathroom at the end of the movie. But she, like, fully exits the green room in her underwear. I'm like, ma'am, no one's coming in here. You can take the time to get dressed. You don't need to walk out there in your underwear.
Yeah, you could have gotten dressed.
But
but she, like, comes to her senses. She's like, oh my god, I can't
do
believe
this. Yes.
I shouldn't do this. And she leaves, and Sherry comes into the dressing room to deliver the scotch, and she drops it accidentally or whatever. Yeah. But so he's like, it's fine. Drew has arrived for work, and he's looking for Sherry, and he comes around a corner, and he sees Sherry leaving Tom Cruise, Stacey Jax's dressing room, and, like, her top is like off one of her shoulders.
Yeah.
And we see
Well, she
Stacey
says,
Jacks like adjust his junk.
yeah, and she's like,
because
thank you so much. And the reason she says that is because he wasn't mad about her dropping his like crystal
breaking the
like scotch. And he's like, it's fine, don't worry about it. But of course, Drew assumes the worst.
Instead of having a conversation like an adult, assumes that Sherry and Stacey had sex.
My least favorite fucking trope of non-communication.
My God, it's lazy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's lazy.
Lazy writing.
Have a conversation.
Yeah. And this is the beginning of the extreme departures from the stage show. I don't know how much we want to get into it now because I do have some stuff later on. But one of the biggest departures is that Sherry absolutely does have sex with him in the stage show.
Yeah.
But also,
She does.
they were not in a relationship in the stage show. Very specifically, Drew panics and calls them friends. And so there's no montage of lovey-doveyness. They are not in a relationship.
Yeah.
So it's...
I don't think we need to get into the differences because there are so many.
So many. My God. So basically it just starts from there and then Act 2 is radically different. So it's like Act 2 is a different show. Yeah. So we won't go too far into that. But this is right before Drew is about to go on as the opener. And so he goes on and the crowd isn't super thrilled because they're really just there to see Arsenal. And so Drew like believes that Sherry has cheated on him with this rock star and decides to not sing the song Heaven, which he had practiced before, but switch it up on his band, rude, and was like, and they sing the song I Wanna Rock, which is this huge rock and roll song. He does a great job and like really gets the crowd going. The crowd is into them. Danny and Lonnie and Dennis
and Lonnie
are both just like, damn,
Lennis
okay.
Paul, Stacey's manager, is backstage and just sees dollar signs in Drew.
It's
He's
like
you
a new
are
cute
gonna make me a lot of money.
rock star.
Yeah.
That's easier to control than Stacey
audience.
Jacks.
Sherry is in the audience, not knowing Drew is mad at her and just being like a super supportive girlfriend as he has a temper tantrum
on stage
rock song.
Yeah.
I want to really quickly point out at the end, his microphone is plugged in this whole time. It is not plugged in for that final shot.
Whoop!
And that happens later as well. So I was like, maybe they had unplugged mics, but I was like, we had established his mic was plugged in, and it is not.
It's not anymore.
But it's fine.
Yep.
The song ends, they do the performance, everyone's really impressed. Sherry goes to visit Drew backstage and tells him how much everyone loves
This is back in that weird alley.
Storms out.
Yeah.
That alley, the alley that nothing good happens in. He storms out, and Sherry's like, what the fuck, why are you mad at me? And instead of explaining the misunderstanding, he goes, I just killed it out there. I don't need you. There's hundreds of yous out there. And she slaps him.
Yeah, good.
As justified.
Yeah.
And she storms off. Drew goes to chase her like, fuck, I didn't mean that. And Paul comes out and stops him.
He's like, do you want love
like, hey,
or do you want fame? Because I can give you one and that's harder to get.
Yeah, yeah. And Drew thinks about it. Does he answer then and there? Or does he answer
what he does,
as well?
so they go out and see the final song. So this is Tome Cruise doing Pour Some Sugar on Me. And this is a good, like, version of the song.
Good performance.
Yeah, this is a good performance. Yeah. And it's seeing the crowd's reaction to that he goes to Paul and is like, I'm on board. Let's do it.
I want in on this. Yes. Yeah, he shakes his hand, he goes, and he also tells Dennis during the song that he quits the bourbon room, and also Sherry quit as well. That happens. Yes. Sherry quits when she runs off. Yeah. And Dennis doesn't care because he's just like amazed watching his friend.
He knows
perform.
that he's going to get a lot of money from this because Paul had promised that it would be for free, essentially. Like they wouldn't have to pay the fee of Stacey Jacks to do this because it was like a favor. It was his last show. It was all of this, and it was a favor for an old rock and roll brother, which comes up in the next scene.
And Constance, I will say, is also in the audience watching, like, impressed by the performance, but then she kind of takes it, like, zooms out and sees how many women are just, like, throwing themselves at Stacy and like climbing up on stage and like manhandling him. And I think she leaves. She's like, this was a bad idea.
Too much.
Cut after the show. Dennis and Lonnie are counting the money upstairs. And then Paul comes in being like, hi, I'm here for my take. Yeah. And by my take, I mean 100%.
Yes.
And that's when we have that conversation where Dennis is like, you said this was going to be a freebie. And Paul's like, no, there's no such thing as a freebie in show business. Yeah. And then he does the funniest thing. What he said, and I wondered if you thought this was funny. When he goes to leave, he goes, chow! Like, shouts it and does this, like, hand gesture across, like he's grabbing something, but, like,
so it reminded me of the producers, the scene when the cops come in and then they send away the director and his partner and they're like, thank you, and then just walk away. It was just like that also, just kind of like, felt like something that had been practiced. Like, it was just so funny. Yeah.
It was so funny and just so unexpected. Yeah. But anyway, after that, it's raining, of course.
Yes, of course.
Sherry is sad and alone outside the club.
And apparently this is over multiple nights because there's like
in my heart.
Because there's like costume changes, and I'm like, how often does it rain in LA for multiple nights in a row?
It never rains as much in LA. It doesn't. The most of all the unbelievable things in this movie, it's the fact that it rained this much in LA.
This is like my reaction whenever I was watching Daredevil and it was raining in like the Lower East Side and someone immediately gets a cab and I'm like, in what universe? Like
Never
in a million
He's like, I must protect Hell's Kitchen. Like, walk 5 minutes and you are out of it.
You're out of
That is a separate tangent that we could have a whole other episode on.
I could do a whole 15-minute set on the stupidity of that. Anyway, so she sings.
Anyway, you're right. We get this
Hard in My Heart or Shadows.
We get this montage of Sherry walking around. It's Hard in My Heart. Like, she's running out of money. She's just too busy walking around in the rain to get a job. But she's walking around in the rain. Her bag breaks or something, and so she's like sad and defeated on the sidewalk. And then Mary J. Blige comes to her rescue.
So Mary J. Blige comes up and swoops up this blonde girl from Oklahoma and takes her into her club. She like hands her a towel and like one drink, and she's like, this is a pit stop. You just needed to get out. Like, dry yourself off, pull yourself together.
It's a strip club.
Yes, it's a strip club. Like, pull yourself together. Like, I just didn't need a girl. I think what it was is she's like, I didn't need a white girl sobbing outside of my club. That's not a look that I needed. So let's just take you inside and let's get you feeling better, and then vamos.
And Sherry's like, wait, no, I need a job. Yeah. And Mary J. Blige is like, can you dance? Yeah. Like, as in, will you strip? Yeah. She's like, no, but I can wait tables. And Mary J. Blige says like, okay, fine, you start tomorrow.
Well, and she's also like, listen, you got to be pretty strong to and tough to do this job because people will absolutely reach for you. You don't look that tough to me. And she's like, no, I can absolutely do it. So she chooses to wait tables, though, as opposed to stripping, which does mean that she'll be making less money.
And we get a group song, Shadows of the Night. Yes. With some fun stripper choreography.
Yeah.
Or let me rephrase it, some fun pole dancing choreography.
Yes. There was some really, impressive stunts. I always love the stunts where they full drop and just catch themselves 6 inches above the ground. I'm like, oh, that's courage. That's so scary.
This one, I was like, this must have been fun to shoot and fun to choreograph.
100%. Especially with people. If you get a bunch of people who know how to do it, then you can actually start showing off some good tricks.
There was one moment, however, and I'm going to stand up to demonstrate this, where I don't know if it's that the focus wasn't meant to be on the dancers. It was meant to be on Mary J. Blige or Julianne Hough, who was singing. But at one point, it just showed the girls in the background doing the most lifeless shimmies. Just no vibe.
Not a lifeless shimmy.
A lifeless shimmy. A lifeless shimmy. And I literally wrote that. I was like, not the lifeless shimmies.
Not a lifeless shimmy.
But
oh no.
And we do see Sherry start waitressing, and it's hard, and she
Yeah.
throws a drink on a guy that gets handsy.
But also I think, like, she's allowed to do that and, like, defend herself, yeah. So then we get a quick aside with Bryan Cranston. I truly never knew his name.
Oh, it's Patricia and Doug.
I
He's
called
Doug,
them
she's
Catherine
Patricia.
and Brian the entire time. They find out that the Bourbon Room owes taxes that they haven't paid, and
Yeah,
they're like,
taxes
oh, this is the perfect way for us to finally get rid of this club. And we also get a little bit of backstory with Patricia, where she's like, like her husband asks, like, why do you hate them so much? And she's like, let's just say,
what's up with this?
let's just say I had a roommate in college. And it's very much of those, like, hypothetically a friend of mine conversations. Like,
Yeah, I knew someone. You don't know them.
you don't know them. They went to another school. And basically what
friend from
happened
camp.
was she lives in Canada. And so basically what happened oh no, did that get you?
Ooh, close.
But basically what had happened was that Patricia, her friend, used to be like a big essentially a groupie for Arsenal, and had a one night thing with Stacey Jacks where he like made her feel like a woman for the first time. And then of course he left because he's a rock star, and they weren't dating. This was a one night stand. And she took that so
She was a college
personally
student.
that she swore revenge. Crazy. Anyway, that's why she's so pissed about it.
Cut back to Drew.
We get another montage
missing
song.
Sherry. Yeah, he sings.
Here I Go Again.
Here I Go Again. We get Here I Go Again as he's missing Sherry, and he's like, but I know what I need to do, and he signs with Paul's record label.
Yes.
And we get this long montage of this song of Sherry looking for a new job, Drew getting a makeover because rock is getting like a rock and roll makeover, and Stacy in bed with lots of women, but like looking forlorn and lonely.
Yes.
Like he doesn't know, something's wrong.
Yes. Dennis is also worrying. Oh, so then we cut to the office, and we have the song that I hate the most.
Yeah.
So Dennis is worried about the Bourbon Room and that it will close, and that he's disappointed everyone. And Lonnie is like, well, you didn't disappoint me. And then they confess their love for each other, and we get the song Can't Fight This Feeling. And then Russell Brand and Alec Baldwin make out, and I didn't want it.
Here's the thing about this. I think the thing that was unsuccessful is that they had zero chemistry, and it didn't seem like either tried. It felt, I think that my gripe is that this relationship felt like a bit. It felt like let's take these two straight actors and make them be a gay couple in this movie.
As opposed
it didn't feel
in Hairspray, which is by the same director, I thought that Christopher oh my god, I almost said Christopher Nolan. Christopher Walken and John Travolta had good chemistry.
Great chemistry.
And I appreciated
Great
their relationship.
chemistry.
And they were great together. And I know that they weren't playing a gay couple, but you know, it was just like this could have been casted better. And I mean, Alec Baldwin has said before that he hated
like
this
the
movie,
butt of a joke.
and he didn't like this character, and he only did it to work with Tom
He tried
Cruise,
to get out of it
and,
really last minute.
and it was just like, man, you don't want to be here, fucking, and it feels like it. It feels like you don't want to be here. We cut to like another montage. A lot of these songs are montages. I'm realizing. So this song
which is crazy because that. If you give me a montage, that means plot is happening, and this movie was over 2 hours.
No plot. So the song is Any Way You Want It, and so a bunch of things are happening. So Sherry decides to become a dancer because she can't afford to continue living as a waitress, and she can't find any other job.
Mary J. Blige tells her the only way to get respect is to take the stage at the club.
Yeah, and she ends up in an outfit that is the most covered I have ever seen a stripper. It is like long sleeved, and I'm just like, what is this?
We get a cameo of Constantine. Ooh, I don't know how to say his last name. Maroulis?
I think so.
Something like that.
Who was the original Drew?
Who played Drew in the original Broadway. Plays like an executive at the record label who tells Paul and Drew of like, so it's great that you have this new client. Rock is dead. The people want pop or rap.
Hip hop.
And so you're getting a new look. Yeah. And Drew is distraught over this. Remember, we're on the cusp of the 90s here.
Yes.
So it's very like 90s
boy
coded.
bands are on their way up.
Colorful boy band. Yeah, and Drew is distraught at this. Sherry becomes a stripper at the end.
Yeah.
And I think Julianne Hough is a good dancer. Mm-hmm. It didn't feel like she actually learned any stripper moves other than how to climb the pole. And so I mean,
she took lessons from a stripper, but
she did?
Yeah. But I don't know how long she spent doing that, because obviously pole is incredibly difficult to do well. And so doing it, for a month versus doing it for 6 months is going to get you different outputs. Yeah.
And she's not supposed to, I mean, if she's a new stripper, she's not going to be amazing. But I was kind of like, I don't know, give me a body double. If it's supposed to be impressive and the actor's not there, put someone else in a wig.
Exactly.
That is a shaky sweater, and it didn't stop my
Hey man, this whole place is a store of shaky sweaters. Just the loose approximation of some yarn in the shape of a shirt. It's rough. Anyway,
Speaking of breakdowns, we cut to the set of a music video. Drew's in a boy band with the band's called the Z Guys, with Guys. 2 E's and 2 Z's. And
double
he's
the E's, double the Z's, double the flavor.
Z's, double the flavor. And Drew has a breakdown in the middle of the music video, and he talks to Paul, and he's like, "Look, this is not what I signed up for. I'm not Joshy Z," which is what they're calling him. We never said this. His band is called Wolfgang von Colt. And he's like, "I'm Wolfgang, I'm not Joshy Z." And at least, if we're going to be shooting a music video for this song, shouldn't we at least, have a performance?
Yeah, because they've never performed before making a music video, which is crazy.
Yeah, which is a valid question.
Yeah.
And Paul says, all right, you're being a brat, but you know what? How about this? I'll get you a performance, I think, tonight. Yeah. And Paul calls up Dennis and emotionally manipulates him by saying, Stacey wants to perform at the club tonight.
Yeah, it'll be his first show solo.
Yeah. No, and we know as the audience that he's fully gonna cancel. Stacey's not showing up.
I don't even think he tells Stacey.
No, he doesn't. He's just and then the Z Guys are gonna open for him.
Yeah.
Cut to Paul's office. Surprise, Stacey's there because the Rolling Stone piece came out today.
Yeah.
And this is pre-internet, so you had to read it in print. And
it's not great, Dan. It's
not great, Dan.
Yeah. The entire office is fully shredded, and it's unclear. So Stacey has a pet baboon. Which is incredibly dangerous. And the entire office is in pieces. And it's unclear whether Stacey did this or the baboon did this. So, Paul tries to, reads through the article out loud.
Yeah, Stacey makes him read the article out loud.
And what is revealed in this article, which apparently Stacey didn't know, is that Paul had taken all of the proceeds from that night and none of it went to the actual bourbon room. And Stacey didn't know that. And it pisses him off because he has this previous relationship with Dennis. He was like, "Oh, you're my rock and roll brother," yada, yada. And so at that moment, he fires Paul. He's like, done. Over it.
Done. And as Stacey exits, we see a very brief news clip of Doug and Patricia on the morning show talking about how if the Arsenal hasn't paid its taxes by midnight, the city gets to reclaim it, or something like that.
Yeah.
Cut to Mount Trashmore. We cut back to the Hollywood sign.
Yep.
Where Sherry goes and discovers Drew is also there. It's that trope of oh, this was our spot and you're here too.
Yeah.
They both have that thing where they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm fine. Everything's great. My life is amazing."
Yeah.
They both say quitting the bourbon room was the best thing they ever could have done. And then it comes out, Sherry learns that Drew thought she had sex with Stacey.
And she's like, super didn't. And I'm actually returning to Oklahoma.
I was in love with you.
I was in love with you.
Yeah.
We were together.
It's been 2 days.
It's been 2 days. This is Romeo and Juliet timeline. It's truly hey team, everyone take a deep breath.
No, it's not rock and roll.
And so he said that he finally finished the song that he was writing about her, and they part ways and they sing the song Every Rose Has Its Thorn. Drew ends up back at Empire Records where they had their first kind of flirty interaction, and he finds all of the albums that were stolen from her and buys them all back, which is very nice.
Small gripe.
Yes.
Sherry leaves in a taxi that I guess she took to the Hollywood sign. That taxi's not on a road. That taxi is on grass. And then drives off
that taxi
on
man.
grass.
That taxi is our waiter. He's like, pay me.
Pay me. How did I get here? And
no, we're gonna get our waiter in a second. We haven't since we've come back.
I know exactly who you're gonna talk about.
He's my giggle. He's my giggle.
My moment of
He's
joy.
my waiter. It's incredible. We haven't talked about goons, gangsters, waiters, and swindlers since we've gotten back. But I mean, Paul's
That's
obviously our swindler.
Every Rose Has Its Thorn turns into a group number. Stacy
Yes.
joins in, and Constance and Mary J. Blige, sure, everyone gets to sing.
I mean, she's here, have her sing.
Yeah, I know. Criminally underused, Mary J. Blige.
Truly. Stacy ends up showing up at the Venus Room, which is the strip club, and asks for a private dance with Sherry. Now, I think the reason he asks for her, I don't know if he actually recognizes her from the club because they had such little interaction. I think because she has blonde curly hair and she looks like Constance, that's why he chooses her. That's my guess.
Wait, what are you talking about?
At the strip club, Stacy shows up and chooses Sherry for a private dance.
I don't remember that.
What? There's an entire dance number.
I don't remember that. I'm not gonna re-rent it to go back.
Nor should you.
But
this is the song "Rock You Like a Hurricane."
I didn't have that. I didn't have that. That's cut from the theatrical release.
Okay, so I saw all of the deleted scenes then. That makes sense. Why wasn't there something earlier that you were like, I don't remember that. I don't remember what it was because I have the memory of
No, Rock
a
You Like
goldfish.
a Hurricane was not in my
so
screening.
Let me tell you what happens. So Stacey Jax shows up to the strip club and sees Sherry dancing on the pole. And he is friends with Mary J. Blige, whose character's name I don't remember because I think it's mentioned once.
Her name is Justice.
Justice. And apparently they're good friends and he used to come a lot more often, whatever. And she's like, is there someone that catches your eye? And he sees Sherry, but her face is kind of covered, but her hair is all permed and curly. And she and Constance, the reporter, are both have blonde curly hair essentially. And so my thing was like, oh, he chose her because he's pining after Constance and he just wants it out of his system or something like that. So anyway, so they go to a private room and he has 10 grand on the table in stacks of money. And he's like, I'm here for you. And she's like, all I do is dance. And he's like, I like to dance. And so they have this big, and they take up space on the whole room. Tom Cruise does some pole dancing. It's a whole thing.
I can't believe I missed this.
I'll put that as the homework.
So
I'll find it and put it as the homework. But basically,
I watched it on Amazon. So if you watch this on Amazon, you don't get this song.
You don't get that. So it's this whole thing, and it starts as just dancing, and then there's a moment where Sherry, he's standing over her, and Sherry makes the decision and pulls him down on top of her, and the dancing gets a little bit more sexual. It's still never anything explicit, but it ends with him back against the stripper pole, kind of like how you do a wall sit. So, and she's on his lap, straddling him against the stripper pole, and they almost kiss, but they both have a moment where they both pull away at the same time, and Sherry ends up saying, neither of us want this, do we? And he helps her off of his lap, and they leave.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's
I
a
cannot
big
believe
fucking
I missed
scene.
that.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't miss it. I just didn't get it.
Didn't see it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not in the Amazon version.
That's crazy.
It's a cut scene.
Yeah.
What I got
I'll
was
put
Sherry
that as my homework.
Sherry goes to the club. What I got next is she cries to Justice, and she says she's ruined. Coming to LA was a mistake. Yeah. And Justice says, well, you came to LA for love, not fame and fortune. Of
That's
course
immediately after this scene.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. And that's when Sherry gets a delivery to the dressing rooms. A stripper brings in. Drew apparently dropped off all the records that he bought for her. And Cherry's like, I love him, or whatever. I think she decides to go see the show. I don't know. Cut to Stacey Jacks calling Rolling Stone offices to talk to Constance.
To TJ Miller.
Oh, this is not my waiter. Is this your waiter?
This is my waiter. So
okay, my waiter's later.
11 p.m. in New York, right? And Stacey Jacks calls Rolling Stone, and TJ Miller answers the phone and is like, Rolling Stone, not like we're open or anything. And I'm like, this is a man who is doing his job. And so, and then they have the craziest conversation where he's like, I'm looking for Cinderella. And this is a moment where someone who is not in a musical theater universe gets a phone call from someone who is in a musical theater universe.
Fuck, you're right. That's so funny.
And so he gets this call, and Stacey Jacks, Tome Cruise, is like, I'm looking for Cinderella. And he's like, who? It's like, and starts talking in third person. It's like, she wrote this story about Stacey Jacks. And he's like, oh, you mean Constance? Okay, I could see how maybe you misheard her name. Yeah, no, her name is Constance. Like, he's just so, he plays the most straight man. And like, he's like, yeah, no, she's in LA. She's covering the Stacey Jacks, like, first
gig
solo
at the
performance
Bourbon
gig at the Bourbon Room. And he's like, I have a what now? And he's like, well, not you, unless, of course, you're Stacey. Is this Stacey Jacks? And then, and then he's like, thank you for your help. I will find her. And then, like, hangs up. And then it's just TJ Miller in an office just being like, I feel threatened. It was my giggle.
It's so funny.
It's my giggle. He's my waiter. I'm like, this man is just answering the phone call. He doesn't want to be there. He probably has he's probably late on a fucking deadline, and that's why he's there at 11 p.m. And then he gets this insane phone call from a musical theater universe out in LA, and it's just like,
hello, ring, ring, ring.
Yeah, ding-a-ling-a-ling, it's musical theater.
It is the manifestation of being inconvenienced by musical theater.
Oh my God.
We're about to get my water. So we cut to the Bourbon Room. We're outside the Bourbon Room, and we have
is it the
Patricia's
reporter?
protest.
Yes.
And we have Patricia's protest on one side and like rock and roll supporters on the other, / people who are like showing up to the event. And we have a reporter outside the Bourbon Room who's like interviewing people, and Lonnie shows up and like specifically calls out Patricia. He's like, you're being a dasshole for doing this. And we get this amazing duet of the rock and roll supporters going, we built this city, and the protesters singing, we're not gonna take it. It's a great number.
I loved this mashup. I thought this was great.
Yeah, this was really fun. And my giggle is the reporter suddenly finds himself caught between these two protest lines behind police barricades and just is like running from one side of the street to the other
with
trying
his microphone.
To give them both the microphone. It's so funny. This is a man trying to do his job.
He's trying to do his job. Oh my God, and inconvenienced by dueling musical theaters. We had two waiters in this movie, and what a blessing. So,
and then Stacey Jacks rides up on his motorcycle in between these two protesters because he has a gig that he didn't know about.
And he recognizes Patricia. And she, like, he goes over to her, again, hand on the tit, and, like, says something I don't remember, but
she calls her Patty.
Yeah, she's so overwhelmed that she leans forward, tongue first, which is a wild choice. And then he, like, steps away, and she's like, it's Satan, or something crazy like that. Anyway.
Yeah. This was another moment where I was, like, shocking for a musical theater movie. I was just like, rein it in a little bit. This was too big for me.
Hey, man.
On film.
Yeah.
I was like, on stage, hilarious.
Yeah.
We dialed it up to like 120% on this
Yes.
bit of like the tongue out makeup thing. But
But
anyway,
listen, apparently she
during
fucking inspired him for 30 seconds from now when he sees Constance. Anyway.
Oh my god, I cannot wait to talk about that. But during this, Lonnie has like had this light bulb moment where he sees Patricia and he sees Stacey Jackson. He runs inside and he comes back out with an album and he gets the reporter's attention. He's like, I just want to make a really quick announcement, Mr. Reporter Man. And he holds up the album. He was like, this is the 1978 album, Arsenal at the Bourbon Room, great at record. Yeah. And if you open the record, you can see on the inside cover a topless groupie who is none other than Patricia, the wife of the mayor. And it's shame.
Yeah.
And it's her. It's just like her being exposed for being a groupie in her former days.
Exactly. We cut inside at the club and Stacey enters like through the main doors, and so people are just like, is this Stacey Jax?
Stacey? And I'm gonna stand up again. He scans the room for Constance, sees her, and does the fucking weirdest thing, which is from across the room. He just points. He points and approaches her.
Yes. And someone attacks him and like makes out with him for a quick second.
Out with him.
And then
too long, more than a quick second.
Yeah.
And he just does not break eye contact with her.
With Constance.
It's just like, hold on a second, I have to
and she's like, up. No, yes, I understand. And
I understand, of course.
And so gets to her, and I wrote, and they start tonguing, not kissing. Tonguing.
They start tongue fucking.
No lips are involved in this. It is nothing but tongue.
It's because he tells her to open her mouth.
Didn't like that.
And just wider and wider, and then he shoves his tongue into her mouth. And I wrote, wow, that's so much tongue. And they make out furiously, and the entire crowd cheers.
Anyway, we get the opening act, which are the Z guys, and it turns out that Paul has told everyone, hey man, you're not going to be singing, you're going to be lip syncing. It makes this easier to control, essentially. And then he also goes and tells Dennis that he's like, I'm so sorry, Stacey canceled. So it's just these guys. And everyone hates it. It's bad, team.
It's bad. They're bad. They're bad.
But Drew spots Sherry in the audience and just straight up leaves the stage.
He's like, you came back for me.
Yeah. At the same time, Stacey returns all of the money that Paul had taken to Dennis. So now he's able to pay his back taxes. I love that taxes is like a C plot of this movie.
Taxes are the true villain of rock and roll.
Hey man, if that is, put it on a pillow. It's
not the man. It is, I mean, what is taxes manifested but just the man?
The man, yeah, 100%. So he gets his money back so he can save the club. That's all wrapped up. But Drew fires Paul, and then there's a moment where I wrote this in all caps. Someone throws one of the Z guys into the crowd, and there's a straight up Wilhelm scream. And I was like, didn't expect that in this movie.
He does. He gets booted off the stage, thrown into the crowd, and you do get a Wilhelm scream. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Okay. Drew fires Paul and goes, rock and roll will never die. Sherry gets Drew's band up on stage. Conveniently, everyone who's in the band is already there, so that she gets the band on stage, and I think she starts the song to sing, Don't Stop Believin'. And then he joins in. Drew joins in because it's a duet.
Yes.
Meanwhile, in the bathroom, Constance and Stacey are having violent sex.
Truly
and
destructive.
Not in that it's like just like wrecks a tavern sex.
They wreck a bathroom.
They wreck a bathroom. And then they hear this song start to play, and they both like come out of the bathroom being like, "That's
what is this song? That's a great song." So then we cut to 8 months later, and Stacey has rejoined Arsenal, and he's performing "Don't Stop Believing," and then brings on Drew and Sherry.
Major stadium,
huge stadium show. And Sherry and Drew are now both singers of the Wolfgang von Colt, and it's at Dodger Stadium. That's what it is. And Everyone is there. Dennis and Lonnie are there. Justice is there. Constance is there. Patricia is there, who's now like back in her rock and roll outfit.
Oh, I thought she was there incognito because of the sunglasses. She was like, no one's gonna recognize me.
I don't know, but she's there in like a leather bodysuit, and I'm like, hell yeah, love that.
Into it. I will say
that's the end.
Stacy is performing "Don't Stop Believing," and he like brings on Sherry and Drew and like credits them with this song, and so they like all sing together. One note. Oh, and Constance is there, 8 months pregnant.
Sure.
Like, and like she and Stacy are like happy to be together. There's so many people sitting for this concert, and I'm like, no one should be sitting for this.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's the movie. We pan out of the Dodger Stadium and we zoom to the Hollywood sign, and that's the end of this movie. My God. I am out of breath and my face hurts from talking about this fucking movie.
I was thinking about that. So we took a quick break and I got some coffee. I was thinking about that, and I was just like, okay, so I did offer to not do it because it's not a good movie, but I've had more fun talking about this one than I did like Seven Brides for Seven Brothers.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of like, it's the same deal as like how angry I was watching Crybaby was not fun, but and like how much I hated Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, not fun. This is an enjoyable dislike.
Like the issues weren't
human trafficking.
Yeah, like the plot, the issues I had with the plot weren't like moral issues.
Yes. Yeah. If this is on TV and I just want to listen to a bunch of rock songs in a row, this isn't a bad vibe.
It did some good musical theater things well. We had dancing in the street. We had good integration of music into plot.
Yes.
And some of the acting was good.
All right, shall we do a little dramaturgy?
Oh, do a little dramaturgy report. A little drinks and dramaturgy report. Dramaturgy report.
I almost missed it.
It is 7 p.m. on a Sunday, so I'm having a gin and tonic.
It is 11 a.m. on a Sunday, so I'm having an iced coffee. And it is the weekend that we're recording this, my birthday weekend. So I have tomorrow off as well.
Tomorrow. Yay! Oh, so good. I'm so excited for you. Okay. Let's dive into some dramaturgy.
Yes.
So this was fun in that we've seen this director and this cinematographer before. This director is Adam Michael Schenkman. He's an American film director, producer, writer, actor, author, dancer, choreographer. He's like done a lot of choreography. He was a judge on 2 seasons of So You Think You Can Dance. He began his professional career in musical theater. He was a dancer in music videos for Paula Abdul and Janet Jackson. And he has choreographed films as well as directed films. Films he has worked on include A Walk to Remember, Bringing Down the House, The Pacifier, and then musicals such as Hairspray, which we've done, right?
Yeah.
We've done
Yeah.
Hairspray, this film, Rock of Ages, and Disenchanted, which was the Enchanted sequel that I still have not seen.
Liked Disenchanted. There were some
I hear good
songs.
things about it.
There were some good songs in that.
The cinematographer we have also seen twice, actually. His name is Bojan Bazelli. He's from Montenegro. We've seen his work in Hairspray and in Burlesque. Woo! And then in addition to those 2 films, he's also known for King of New York, with starring Christopher Walken, and Body Snatchers. So
talk about range. And then our new segment of dramaturgy editor, female editor, her name is Emma Hickcox. She's English. She's a founding member of the British Independent Film Awards. She is a film legacy in that she is the daughter of Oscar winner film editor Anne Coates, who won the Oscar for editing for Lawrence of Arabia. Oh, wow.
And her dad is a cult British film director, Douglas Hickcox.
Gotcha.
And we've known her work from, she did A Walk to Remember, Blue Crush, Kinky Boots, Bad Moms, and Disenchanted. So clearly there's a lot of overlap between her and the director.
Yes. Okay. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about how this got made, and then we can kind of discuss together the craziness between the original and the director.
cool.
So the writer, there were a couple of people who worked on the script. So there was Alan Loeb, who has written a bunch of things. He wrote the film 21. He wrote The Switch. He co-wrote Wall Street, Money Never Sleeps, The Dilemma, Just Go With It, Rock of Ages, and the mixed martial arts comedy Here Comes the Boom from 2012. The other writer is Justin Paul Thoreau. He is an actor and a filmmaker, so he worked a lot with David Lynch in like Mulholland Drive and Inland Empire. He's been in a bunch of stuff. He was in like American Psycho. He was in Charlie's Angels, Full Throttle, The Girl on the Train, Spy Who Dumped Me, the new Beetlejuice. But he also is a screenwriter for certain films, and so he worked on Tropic Thunder back in 2008. He worked on Iron Man 2, and then, of course, this Rock of Ages, and he made his directorial debut with the romantic comedy film Dedication. Now, this was a stage musical first. So the musical premiered at first in Los Angeles in 2005 and had a couple of limited engagements in that area. And then the off-Broadway version of this premiered a couple years later in 2008 and ran for a couple of months before it then transferred to Broadway. So previews for that began March 17th, 2009 at the Brooks Atkinson Theater and officially opened April 7th, 2009. And it had to change theaters a little bit through, so it changed to the Helen Hayes Theater and then resumed performances there. But it eventually closed in 2015, so it ran a lot longer than I thought.
It's a good jukebox musical for people who lived through the 80s.
Who lived through the 80s and could afford Broadway musicals. It had 22 previews and 2,328 performances. Put it at a tie with Man of La Mancha as Broadway's 32nd longest running show of all time. So I will say that the band, this is kind of one of my fun facts, the band in the musical was on stage, kind of like a Hadestown thing where they're a part of the production because so much of the show is about bands performing. But they all dressed up in typical like metalhead costumes, but a lot of them were famous rock stars of the age. One of the original guitarists was a former member of Night Ranger, whose hit Sister Christian is performed in the show. Current member of Whitesnake was a part of the band for a while. Another guitarist, Tommy Kessler, who was a part of the band Blondie. So it was really nice that they had people who were like, no, this is my scene and this is my genre. And they're the ones playing. The drummer was in a cage with a sign that says, "Don't feed the drummer." It was they really got into it, which I really appreciate. That sort of integration of the musicians to the show is something I really love because they are so deeply essential. So we're going to talk a little bit about the contestation, that may not be the right word, the contentious relationship between the stage production and this movie production and those involved with the production of both. Basically, it was because Off-Broadway was so successful in their 4 or 5 month run, something like that, that the film rights were sold in early 2009, which is right around when they opened on Broadway. And Adam Shankman was hired to direct in October later that year. Originally, the director, who is the creator of the stage musical, revealed that he was originally attached to write and direct the film and had an idea of it kind of like a Singin' in the Rain thing. So I think it would be like how the producers were done, where it almost feels like a staged production. Yeah. Possibly. I don't know.
And he wanted it to be like an homage medley of old Hollywood musicals and the 80s production.
Rock. Yeah. But the studio was like, hey, we got a $75 million budget and we're going to give that to someone who has proven that they can handle it. So they chose
Which is Adam Shankman, who is coming on the heels of Hairspray
in 2008, which was such a big success. Yeah. Now, contrary to popular belief, the major story changes were not because of Warner Brothers. It was actually Adam Shankman who said that he didn't super love the original stage play and wanted to, quote unquote, fix its problems.
They hired someone who didn't like the source material.
Didn't like the source material, which is crazy. So a lot of the changes took away the R-ratedness of it for something that's more appropriate for a general audience. We talked a little bit about one of the major changes, and honestly, Act 2 is a wildly different show. Like, Stacy is the bad guy. There is no evil manager. Stacy is not a good person. There is no Constance.
No. Stacy has the villains are different. The villains are like a developer,
like German
duo in
developers.
The movie, or in the musical, whereas like the characters of Bryan Cranston and Catherine Zeta-Jones completely new to the. Stacy does not have like a redemption arc.
Not at all.
He's the bad guy at the end.
The bad guy.
It's made me think. I had a note very early on, again coming into this not knowing anything. I was like, if Stacy's gonna. Before I watched the trailer, I was like, I wonder if Stacey Jax is gonna be like a princess track. Yeah. Where he's on stage for like 2 songs, but like never exists. And nobody knew he was very much a major character.
Major character. And then the lovers don't end up as rock stars. They end up leaving LA and starting a life together. And the whole point of it was that sometimes the dreams that you come to LA with are not the dreams that you leave with. Which is not a very rock and roll ending, but it is a very realistic ending.
Yeah.
So, yeah, talk about a radical shift of Act 2.
Yeah, so I read an interview with the creator, Chris D'Arienzo. Mm-hmm. He voiced disappointment on how the film depicted, how it was depicted. Quoted, instead of coming from the point of view, like, I'm going to validate this subject matter and elevate it, he said they embraced the kitsch and they made it more goofy. Not that the show isn't goofy, but like there's a point of view, and he felt like it lost the point of view. Mm-hmm. And he said, the interview asks, like, when you think back on it, when you realize, like, oh, I'm getting shut out of this project and, like, my journey is done with it, like, what was the feeling there? Is it anger? Is it frustration? And he said, like, it was all of those feelings. And he said if that movie had then gone on and been, like, a huge success, and if it had made, he says, Mamma Mia money, he's like, I would have gone insane and quit this industry. But because the movie was so poorly received, he felt very validated.
Hell yeah, Chris.
His feelings, which, like, totally fair. And actually, Shankman says something very similar, which is, he's like, this movie, he said, this is a 2019 interview. He goes, if this movie had been made for streaming, it would have been more successful. He says there was an issue with the release date. It was early summer. There was marketing issues. Yeah. Then there was the other piece of it, which was there was a misguided belief that you could market musicals to men as opposed to doing the whole hog and making it like a romantic fantasy. And so he says, I kept calling one of those guys and saying, I think I'm making a really expensive cult movie here. And they're like, no, you're great. You made Hairspray. And he goes, I don't know. This isn't about ending racism. Yeah. Rock of Ages is something else entirely. And there's joy in it, but the story isn't solid, and it's just a lot of fun. So
it's almost like you changed the plot because you didn't like it and you didn't have something better.
Yeah. So Shankman, like, was aware, acknowledges its faults. Yeah. Which I appreciate. I don't like that he, like, blames it on the release date and stuff. Like, maybe sure that, like,
that might have had something to do with it. But this ain't Glitter, and it wasn't, like, competing, like, you know.
Oh my God, I forgot about Glitter. I will say, like, and this is, I'm jumping ahead, but when it released, it was up against Prometheus and Madagascar 3. So, like...
Yeah, if you're talking about a bro movie, like, I mean, the alien universe that Prometheus is a part of, like, I don't know if you know, Tome Cruise and Assless Chaps is really the pull for the bro musical theater movement.
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about the casting of this. So obviously everyone's saying their own stuff. Tome Cruise was Stacey Jax in the film. Now, Tome Cruise was very nervous about this, apparently. He had always wanted to be in a musical because he thought that it was a good challenge for him, but he wasn't sure if he could actually pull it off. So he was singing like 5 hours a day and working on his like rock style voice, and like took a lot of inspiration from like Axl Rose and Keith Richards and Jim Morrison. Yeah, it was quite a big deal for him. And one of my fun facts is about this later. But then Mary J. Blige was signed on. It was confirmed that Julianne Hough would play Sherry. And Alec Baldwin came on because, like we said earlier, he only wanted to work with Tom Cruise, and that's the only reason he was a part of this movie. And because he signed on, this got the film fast-tracked, and then Paul Giamatti signed on as well. Now, our lover boy Drew was Diego Boneta, who was from Pretty Little Liars. And there was a quote about this. Shankman didn't want to do an older actor that was playing 23. He wanted someone that was young. And he said that Diego walking into the audition was like Zac Efron walking into the audition for Hairspray. He was like, it was instant. Yeah. I knew it. He is that guy. And it turns out that Diego Boneta is a Latin music star, which Shankman did not know. And he said that afterwards, when he saw him perform like on stage, he's like, he completely owns the room. He is a rock star. And it really comes to play in this movie. And I thought that he did a great job. I thought he was really cute. He was a good singer. He definitely played the part of the new rock star finding his feet. Anyway, there was a bit of drama around the original Drew not being cast as this, but he did have his cameo like Ricky Lake did in Hairspray. Then Russell Brand was signed on. Catherine Zeta-Jones was the next, followed by Bryan Cranston. Now, for Constance, there were a couple of different people that they were looking at to play this, including like Anne Hathaway and Amy Adams. But at that time, Anne Hathaway was filming Dark Knight Rises, and Amy Adams was filming the Man of Steel Superman movie. And so both of them were out in like comic book universe and could not make an appearance in musical theater universe. So they got Malin Ackerman instead.
I'll go a little bit into, we've touched on like reviews and reception and release. Shocking, it received mixed to negative reviews. It was a box office bomb. It had a $75 million budget and only recouped 59. A lot of criticism was at the script and its lack of faithfulness to the source material. Rolling Stone said, Rock of Ages is pretty fun despite a terrible script, bland leads, and awful wigs, mainly thanks to a performance by Tom Cruise as fictional hair metal rocker Stacey Jacks, which we talked about it a little bit. I'm not like a big Tom Cruise fan. I'm not a Tom Cruise like hater, but I don't seek him out. I didn't like grow up on his stuff, and I'm not like, I don't revere any of his work. Have yet to see Interview with a Vampire. That might change my feelings.
Hey, man.
But
that movie, listen, they're like, let's get the two hottest guys of the 90s, Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt, and then let's make them not kiss. And I'm like, hey, team, cowards, kiss!
Kiss. But I stand by my statement where I was like, Tom Cruise straddled the world of like, this is a film and how to play a character for film and like perform.
An over-the-top performer. Yeah. As I said, it came out at the box office third place behind Madagascar 3 and Prometheus. It premiered in Los Angeles June 8th, 2012 at the Chinese Theater, and then June 15th with Warner Brothers. Yeah.
In terms of, do you want to do some singing and dancing?
Yeah. I am glad. I am impressed that everyone did their own singing. I thought in general there wasn't any super weak links for the characters that needed to have a good voice. So like obviously Lonnie and Dennis didn't need to have like great rock skrelting kind of whatevers. So I didn't mind that they weren't that. I thought that Tom Cruise...
My issues were with other things
about them. Tom Cruise, I think, did a decent job in terms of finding that skrelt. He did a falsetto at one point, which was pretty good.
I genuinely, the first thing I looked up, I was like, who voiced this?
Yeah.
Like, who dubbed him?
No, that was him. Crazy.
No, he sang his own stuff. Impressed.
And then I thought that our two lovers were both good, and especially Julianne, I thought that she found that like almost country twang, but still within the rock genre of like a raspy growl in the voice.
Yeah.
In certain songs. I mean, listen, my moments of joy are the mashups. And so I think that the music itself carried a lot because the music, one, are songs that most of us all know, and these versions of them that are mashed up with other fun songs are great. I loved all of the mashups. They were so fun.
In terms of dancing, I thought there was some fantastic choreography. I don't think we had dancing in the street, but we had several group numbers. We had the strip club. Mm-hmm. We had dancing at Capitol Records. The church. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just really impressed with the strip club dancing. I was like, that in particular must have been really, really fun.
Yes.
To
put together.
Choreograph.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Giggles and gripes?
Gripes, giggles, moments of joy. My gripe is plot what plot. This is just burlesque. And now that I know more about like,
it's not as bad as burlesque.
No, it's not. And now that I know that that it so deeply derivated from the stage musical.
Derivate?
Or I guess maybe that's
deviate?
That's the word. So deeply deviated from the stage musical, and that the director didn't like the stage musical. It's like, okay, well, this makes sense as to why I don't like this plot, is because this isn't the original plot. This isn't the plot that got people excited and got people to come and see this. So yeah, that's my biggest gripe, is just that the plot just doesn't feel like it works.
My gripes and giggles were... My giggle was that reporter just running back and forth between the two protests.
And my giggle was our one straight man who answered a phone call and was not in the musical theater universe and felt threatened by this entire conversation. So funny.
My gripe was the Lonnie Dennis love story. Yeah. Not that I have an issue with the characters.
Yeah.
It was the casting of that and the execution of it. Mm-hmm. Neither of them did fucking anything. They had no chemistry. Nope. Neither of them tried. And it fucking pissed me off because they made it feel like the butt of a joke.
Yeah. Agreed. And then my moments of joy were, like I said, all of the mashups. The mashups were so fun. And every time that there was a new mashup, I was like, oh, these two go so well together. What a fun one. Especially that final one with that reporter of the We're Not Gonna Take It and We Built This City. Incredible.
And we built this
Love
city.
that one.
My moment of joy was discovering this was filmed at Revolution. Like, truly, my mind is boggled.
Yeah.
I have so many memories of being a teenager there, seeing concerts, and then going there for at least one, like, after party.
Yeah.
And then I don't have any homework, I guess, but I'm going to piggyback on yours, which is to watch the deleted scenes.
Yeah, I'll find the Rock You Like a Hurricane song, and I'll attach it.
Fuck you, Amazon.
And then fun facts. Yeah. So, like I said at the beginning, I have 2 fun facts. So
go for it. I said all of mine.
Religious group that Patricia ran is Ladies Organization to Stop Evil Rock Singers, which spells out losers. Losers. And the other one,
so fucking funny,
was Def Leppard, who originated the song Pour Some Sugar on Me, happened to be touring in America at the time of the shooting, and they were present on the day that Tome Cruise filmed his interpretation of their song, which would be,
I love that,
horrific. Like, if I were that actor, I would be like, do not tell me. You may tell me once this is over, but I cannot know this.
Yeah, that's like being in a performance and knowing that, like, Sondheim is at the show.
Yeah.
Or, like, another, like, or it's like Meryl Streep is at the show being like, do not tell me.
Yeah, exactly. Or it's like you're in a high school production of Mamma Mia and Meryl Streep shows up and you're like, no one can tell me this. No one can tell me. So those are my 2 things. So so I will find Rock You Like a Hurricane crazy. Can't believe that was not a part of your experience. Because it was such a wild dance number between the 2 of them.
Yeah.
And
I mean, but you think of it from my side. Think of, like, what the plot is like if that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Well, because it was very, like, it was
PG.
It was interesting of the 2 of them having this, like, really sexy dance number, and then, like, right when something's about to happen, both of them kind of step back and are just like, we're both in this for the wrong, we're both thinking about other people right now. Yeah. Anyway. I think that's all she wrote. Yeah.
Maybe I didn't enjoy watching this movie, but I fucking enjoyed talking about it.
Hell yeah. Agreed.
If you're still with us, thank you so much for sticking with us. We love doing this. We're so happy to be back. I've been Anna.
I'm still Grace.
Take care of yourselves and others. That's all she wrote. Goodbye.
Bye.
5, 6, 7, 8.
There's no business business like show business like no business I know.